What's up, everybody? It's your boy JT
And Nene. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Pillow Talking Podcast. It's your boy JT,
And Nene.
and we are back with another episode.
Wow.
Wow! Guess what, man?
Whoa.
Before we get started, somebody is now elderly. They have crossed the
It's crazy.
young adult threshold.
I
They
know.
are full.
I am still a young adult.
No, you are 30, Dominique.
Whoa.
You just had your 30th birthday. Round of applause.
Crazy.
Whew.
It's crazy because I feel bad, because I don't feel like it.
All right, let me just ask you a few
I
questions.
just don't feel like I am qualified to be 30.
Okay, I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Our listeners have been listening since you were 26, which is
Yeah.
crazy. So,
I know.
what would you tell the 18-year-old Dominique?
Ooh, I would tell her a few things, but I always think about this. I honestly would tell the 18-year-old girl that trust in yourself. It's so simple as that, but I was just worried about everybody else but myself at that time. So I was living to please a whole bunch of other people.
Wow.
Instead of listening to the voice that was inside of me at that time.
At 18. So,
At
at 18, you felt like you were just, everything was about doing what people thought you
outward
should
praise,
do.
yeah.
And what you thought would get you.
Outward people to be happy for me or
Wow.
to be proud of
Okay.
me.
That's-
Yeah.
And what about 21? What would you tell? That's another milestone. What would you
Yeah.
say at 21?
21, I would say don't settle. 21, I would 100% say don't settle. No matter what you do, don't settle.
Wow.
Don't settle. Yeah.
And I guess the next milestone, 25.
25. Think about what I was doing at 25.
25? Did we have?
I had a baby at
You
25.
had a baby?
I had major.
Yeah,
at
major.
25.
Yep, you did.
And I would say don't get comfortable.
Don't get comfortable.
Yeah. Don't get comfortable. Don't get too comfortable.
Got it. So what are you looking forward to the most this 30th year? Like, what do you want? Because obviously next year is going to be the true elderly celebration. That's your golden birthday.
That's my golden birthday.
So,
And let me
what we doing this year? Like, what's some things that we just
I
gotta get
I
done?
have to cross things off my list.
so
I
what's the
have
list? Like-
to. One thing on my list is to get 5K, and I know I'm good at it this year.
Okay, yeah, you got 5K subs. That's easy. You
I
can
know
probably
I'm
get
gonna
5K before the end of the year.
Yeah,
Easily.
that's my end of the year goal.
If you do
That's
what
my
I
end of the
told
year
you to
goal.
do,
Yeah.
and what you've seen has now worked. When
Yeah.
you post daily, post good stuff, and
Yeah.
rely sometimes on what's trending.
Yeah.
It's no way that you won't be at 5K because
Right.
you do a really great job of doing solo content, which makes it almost super easy because you don't have to wait on anybody to do stuff. Like me, I can't do stuff by myself. I need you. You're the, I'm the brains, but
Yeah.
you're the face, you're the voice, so it helps. I could act like a deadbeat. People like that stuff.
They really love that. That's great.
I could act like I could really do.
You could just
because
act
of my
like the preppy daddy, though,
No,
too.
no, because of my demeanor, I really could do the Kevin Samuels type content because like I can
You're
say
really
stuff
good.
without
and
laughing.
not laugh.
Like and people
Even
like
though you're joking 100%.
and like I'm very
It's
even
giving
though I'm a
the
cool
office
person,
humor.
I can really get some like I got some jokes like don't
Yeah.
I can cut deep so. I could do some stuff, but it's just not my character. But yeah, man, you can do that though. You 5K.
I think I do it.
That's
Also,
easy.
we have to before my golden birthday, I want to release maybe 2 more books. I know that's a stretch,
That's
but
a
it's
big
really
stretch.
not because one, I want to be an ebook. The other one
Oh,
wants to
okay,
be
yeah,
a
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
And then also I wanna I don't know. I wanna do I don't know. I wanna monetize my content sometimes.
Yeah, so
The mommy content.
The
some type
idea
of
I do want to do, and we can kind of sit down and talk about. I do want to reach out, like with the scripture, alphabet through scripture. I do want to reach out further than just what we've been doing, like literally send emails, blast to schools and
put ourselves out
stuff
there.
and put it out there and like really
I do feel
push
like we
it
should make a
for
new cover, though.
yeah,
You
end
said
of year,
that, though.
end
Yeah.
of year push. So like a volume 2 type thing. So
I agree.
yeah. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be a great year. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
and I feel like we should. I also got music stuff that I want to do too.
right.
Together. Yeah, we need to put
But
out music.
I'm excited regardless of
yeah.
what's happening in the world. I mean, that's the thing I always tell people. We've been together through two elections now. We've been together through a pandemic,
Yeah.
through wars and rumors of wars, through sicknesses and pandemics and babies, and it's like it really goes to show that if you have a good, strong connection with the person you're with, like you can really get through anything if you
Yeah.
guys really trust on God, really rely on each other.
100%.
So that's why I'm not worried.
Facts.
Speaking of politics, man, we are in a doozy. Like since our last podcast, we have almost lost a presidential candidate and one step down. Like this has never happened before, where we went like. It's crazy that I can go on Twitter
It's a
and
roller coaster.
I was watching Donald Trump almost get assassinated, and everybody's just like, "Well,
Wow, that
and it's
happened,
like,
but that was yesterday.
regardless of how you feel about politics, it's crazy
Yeah.
that we live in a time where we can that we can see it so quickly. We don't have to wait till the next day in the newspaper or the nightly news, and then two, it's like, how does this happen with all the technology they have today? I feel
For real.
like
Thank you.
I can't even walk through Dillard's without hearing Code 5 and like
Yeah.
people got cameras that
Everywhere.
facial recognition, all this stuff, and this guy almost lost his life tragically.
Which is crazy to me.
And
How?
then
Like
you
how?
have people saying it's fake, it could be fake, it could be this. Regardless, even if it was, my point is the fact that that was presented to us is insane.
Yeah.
The fact that a couple of weeks later, or whenever a presidential candidate steps down, like what are we living in?
Yeah.
Like this is not. When I was growing up and we were joking about it, I remember when I never forget when it was the George Bush when he was running. I remember I was like, man, I can't wait to vote because I just remember everybody talking about it. It was just like we got out of. I think we got
Yeah.
out of school. Maybe we talked about it at school, and then the Barack Obama and both his terms. I was too young to vote, but I just remember all the, just the hype, just the John Legend songs and the Young G. Like I remember, I was like, I can't wait till I can vote, and boom, the first election I get. Is Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, and it's like ever since then it's been this complete like just reality TV show when it comes to
Yeah.
politics, and I don't know. So there's a lot.
I agree.
But-
It's just wild. It's just seriously like I keep saying like I cannot believe like I'm living in these politics.
There's
Like
some strange. It was
these
crazy,
politics is not the politics we learned about.
right? I don't
like-
feel like even how things happen as far as like how laws get passed. It's like I feel like in school
Well, where's
they
that?
made this stuff seem way more difficult.
Yeah, like
they
way
made it
more
seem
prestigious.
way more
just-
collaborative effort between different.
Yeah,
But now it
like-
just seems like, oh no, Congress did this today, and this. And I'm like,
like oh, okay.
what is going on?
like okay, I didn't.
And I think the biggest question for me when it comes to politics is, hey, and like I said, I actually said this in my social media. When it comes to Christians, the argument I cannot stand is when people can't even acknowledge the nuance between why somebody might feel or lean one way versus another. Like, for example, there are conservative Christians who say if you even ever align with Democrats or you ever vote Democrat, there's no way you can be Christian. Then on the other side, it's the same
crazy.
argument. And then
Right.
what I want to ask is, how can people who serve the same God, read the same Bible,
Amen.
in the same country, same area, have totally different ideas? And I think it really comes down to, one, their perspective, and then
Yeah,
the nuances
absolutely.
of how we visualize each party.
Yeah.
And I know people like to say, "Oh, it's because you've been, brainwashed by, this and
it's-
all." Some of it is brainwashing, but you can't say one side has been brainwashed if the other one
Yeah,
isn't. Like,
isn't.
it goes both ways.
That should
Like-
just be a thing. But I also think that I feel like it's a lot of perspective. I
Right.
feel like it's a lot of like single lenses. Like everybody just has their own lens on life. And
Right.
that is what I view the government as.
Yeah, what do you?
And it is what it
That's a
is.
great point. People, what do we view the government as? Like, for example, and somebody was like, certain conservatives view the government as somebody who is trying to take their freedom.
Yeah.
while certain minorities see the government and the federal government as who has protected their freedoms. So if you look like, let's for example,
Right.
if you look at an African American in this country versus a white American, the federal government has passed laws that allow them to vote, that allow them to do things. So they look at that as, okay, the federal government helps.
Yeah.
But if you look at the opposite side, if when you've already been free and now you're being restricted and
Yeah.
more involvement, I understand why conservatives like we want smaller government.
Yeah.
I don't want the government worried about what I'm cash apping somebody for. I
Right.
don't want the government trying to monitor what guns I buy.
Right.
I don't want to have to register every single thing I do. I don't need a license to fish. I don't want to. It's like I understand that side as well. I just feel like we can't ignore the nuances in both, and that's the
In
problem.
both.
That's the problem I have when either side, when a Democratic person presents their party as a Christian, you have to do it, and the Republican does it. That just burns me up. Like the only party that I that I feel Christians should align to is a theocracy, where we believe that Christ is sovereign, and we believe
it.
that's the kingdom that we all should be able to agree on.
Yeah.
But
This
Yeah.
kingdom, this here.
yeah,
No,
man.
it's not even
Now,
about that.
I'll admit there's some policies and some stuff. I'm sitting there as a dad, as a married person, married man. It's some stuff. I'm just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
like
At this point, I'd be like, we just making.
What are we
rules.
doing?
We just picking laws.
like I kid you not, down. I'm in the store.
be like, we too
I was
free.
in a store 2 days ago,
yeah.
and I went to pick up some deodorant, and I'm like, when did deodorant become $8?
That's crazy.
Deodorant.
Not for real, because like
Like, why is
my spray deodorant is $8.
why is deodorant $8?
What happened?
Why has the price of soap inflated? Where you
So
can't even get
much.
a bottle of Dove soap for less than $7.
That's
you can't
crazy.
get washing powder with that for a good price without having to use 45 coupons.
Yeah, like oh my god, y'all, that really like. Let me tell y'all something. Even just the washing powder, the washing powder is ridiculous because
Bro,
the
people
all-
talk about food, man.
no,
The
all is
product.
$12 for like 50 loads. $12 for 50 loads,
It's crazy.
and you
It's
and
crazy.
that's a small load.
That's-
so that you really gotta cut that in half. 25 loads
Bro,
for $12.
because I mean sometimes I feel like the
insane.
inflation talk is only focused with food and gas.
And it's
And I feel like
we gotta-
sometimes we ignore or we don't even pay attention to.
we don't.
Have you ever tried to buy a pack of socks recently?
So like everything is
pack of
underwear.
underwear?
Oh my god, it's just expensive.
And I'm just
for
sitting
no
here
reason.
like these are just cotton products. How
right, and it's cotton is all over. What happened?
like since when did
Seriously.
cotton products like socks?
Yeah, this
Cotton
is,
something we can grow in America.
like what's going on?
How do we get here? These are the questions that I'm asking.
This ain't no silk. This ain't no cotton.
This is the type of stuff the questions I need answered when I vote. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do about these prices?
Because the
What-
prices are wild.
bro, like,
Wow.
yeah, like for us, we've been maintaining, but we've
Listen,
maintained much better when the price was lower.
much better.
So
Way better. I mean, I'm thinking just about the time that was. I mean, that was just maybe like 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Man, like,
But like I
goodness.
also, like I said too,
it's crazy.
I understand that we experienced a pandemic, and
Yeah.
that's something that never happened before.
Yeah.
And we really are now seeing it. Are those stimulus payments and PPP loans catching up to us?
Right, because I feel like
That, everybody
they
was
gonna
like,
get their money back.
that's
you
what I'm
know?
saying. Did we just make too
Uh-oh.
much money when we was just past? Did they just like
Yeah.
so? We don't really know the effects of the market. Like I feel like 10 years from now we'll be like
We'll see.
we'll extend that pandemic era. Be like all of this was the pandemic era
Yeah.
because even though people
had an effect
even
on
though
it.
COVID is now different, people are still getting it. I think now we're starting to see the economic impact. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's gonna last for a little bit till we can
Get it offset,
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but how do you feel? And obviously, we are a neutral podcast. If you come here and think we're
Yeah.
about to promote any party,
Pick sides. We're
first
not.
off, they not paying me. They couldn't pay me because I'm not. I can't lie. like I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it real. Like that's why I could never be like I've seen certain YouTubers and they might be honest, but some of them you can tell like yeah they be getting some campaign money
They're getting
to
some
promote.
cashy
Yeah,
cash.
shout
Some
out to
little
them.
cash. Shout out to them.
But
Bro.
how do you
No
feel
shade.
when you see like the Meg Thee Stallion thing?
We said we wasn't gonna lie.
Yeah, just keep it real.
Listen, it was distasteful. It was just distasteful. I don't. Now, I'm not saying that her being there and being herself was distasteful, but the timing of what was going on was distasteful. Like that was not
so
okay
I
for
understand
the timing.
I understand Meg Thee Stallion. I understand her brand.
Yes, right.
So I understand if she
And I
would've
respect
went,
that.
if she'd have went,
But
dressed the same, did all that, and just went and spoke about the campaign.
yeah.
But to perform these songs and the like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's a rally. Is to get people involved and
Pumped up
motivated,
and whatnot, but
I-
but
it just ain't.
it's a
feel
very
right.
strong on the butt.
It ain't feel right.
It did not feel right.
It
and
feels very similar when I hear Donald Trump sitting on he's with streamers talking about the Young Thug case. Like what's going on there?
what are we doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, it just really was not. I don't know. I just felt like it also, when you are campaigning, I feel like the sense of, I don't know, like decency and like just professionalism and like just integrity has gone out the window now.
Right.
It's always like, oh, what crazy thing can I do next to control
Yeah,
the
it's
media?
almost like what can I do to take
Yeah.
back the attention?
Yeah, and it's
so
like,
for example,
I don't like that,
Let's keep it real. So when Trump assassination attempt was the biggest thing
Yeah.
in this election,
Yeah.
and it was like, what can top a bullet grazing by your ear? Then
Yeah.
we see, oh, Joe Biden steps down. That tops it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so now it's like, we gotta
just going back and
re-strategize.
forth.
We didn't
Yeah.
even plan to go against Vice President Harris. That
Yeah.
wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's weird how one they do stuff like this and then they're like, you don't have to talk to black people like this.
Yeah.
But I think it's wild too how we always assume they're trying to talk to black people.
Who trying to talk about it?
You know what they say? They be like, oh, Meg Thee Stallion's there to appeal to black voters.
Yeah.
What if
What if?
black is not the target, but just young, and we just assume
That's
because
black, but
they really just trying to. So it's a lot
Yeah.
going on there. I don't know.
mean, I think it is. I think they really are trying to target the younger crowd, but I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the younger crowd was just looking like,
Now, if you want to talk about targeting us, the BET Awards, that's target.
yeah,
Like, we know what that demographic is. So that commercial,
right. That commercial was
obvious.
good, but like you don't have to do all that. You didn't have to do that. You could have
You
maybe
can speak to us like with policies.
Yeah, like we're not. You know what I'm saying? You already got us attention because of who you are.
Who you are.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what.
That is enough.
And I think
in that area.
That's the thing that you don't have to. If I ever could have a one-on-one
Yeah.
with Vice President Harris, I would say, for me as a voter, you don't have to speak to me as if I don't recognize that you're a minority.
Yeah.
Like we understand that now.
Yeah.
We like even with Obama, like that's a part of why we won is because we wanted to see it.
Yeah.
So we understand that. Like,
Yeah.
talk to me about policy.
Yeah.
Talk to
so
me
we can help
logically.
push. You know.
Like,
yeah.
talk to me. Speak to what we're facing. Speak
Yeah.
to the
What you could
issues
do.
as a mother and father of four in
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like how, like for example, stuff that triggers us. We live in the oil capital.
Right.
So who's ever talking about oil? We know if oil is good, then the economy locally is good.
Yeah.
When oil is good in Louisiana, like for people who's not here,
Mm-hmm.
when the oil field is up, when we are drilling, when money is being made, we see economic boosts that rival the Paris Olympics. Like everybody's going out to eat. People
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
buying boats. People buying cars. People
Yeah.
buying houses. People buying trailers, lawnmowers, boats, motorcycles. Every business is booming when the oil
Yeah.
field is booming.
Yeah.
And what that does is it puts more money in our local taxes
Mm-hmm.
for schools. It puts more money in our for our business owners, our banks.
Yeah.
The money flows. So from us, I can look back in my lifetime. I remember every time there was a boom in the oil field, life was good.
Yeah.
Business are hiring more people. Bonuses are going
Everybody
out.
got a job.
Everybody got a job because like I said,
Everybody got
every
money.
industry is impacted. Even
Yeah.
your people who might not have a diploma, they can go work in the oil field.
Yep.
Even your people who got criminal records, they
Yep.
can easily go work offshore. Get
Yep.
them off land, go work offshore. So we see crime goes down because everybody got money. Nobody got to steal. Everybody going to the Saints game. It's just
Yep.
so yeah. That's how you speak to us. Talk to us on a policy level.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see.
I
So
agree.
that's all I got for
It
politics.
ain't gotta be all that.
It ain't got to be all that. It ain't got to
Because
be
you're enough. You know what I mean? Like you are enough.
Yes, you are.
Listen, come on, like
enough.
you are enough. Just talk your stuff. You know, you don't need nobody else. But yeah, I think like I be saying though, about the culture because I be saying this all the time. That you see the culture, you know what I'm saying, and you want to do right by the culture,
Right.
but like sometimes the culture is not good for what you got going on.
Exactly.
Like you're supposed to be rebranding the culture, not taking the culture.
Or
with
if
you.
you're gonna speak to the culture, make related to politics.
Yeah. Don't
Like say
just-
like, hey, I want to make sure while y'all out twerking at the club
Yeah.
that y'all ain't got to worry about gun violence,
Right.
Or getting gunned down,
Or if
getting harassed by I speak to it like that. Speak to it with policy.
Or if they would have even even the cringy things, like if they would have remixed one of her songs and made it political.
Yeah, that's
You remember how they did with COVID and they remixed whatever, and everybody was just like that was in everybody's head.
they had the shot campaign, all that. Like
you know what I'm saying? Use the culture.
Use the culture.
Don't parade the you know what I'm saying? The parts that we don't want to be shown. Like that is not
Right.
it's just not the time and the place to be in front of America like that. Is all I felt.
Yeah.
People already constantly say certain things about us, you know. You know what I'm saying? We want to give people things to talk about, but not true things. Like we want to give them good, uplifting things to talk about.
right.
You know, prove them wrong.
Prove them
You know,
wrong.
that's just how I felt. Yeah, that's just how I felt. Like if that was gonna go down in history, like a history book, like what if that was gonna be in a history book?
Well, it will be.
That's
Win or
crazy.
loss, it will be. And you know, my final point on the politics, my final point is like when we see stuff like, you know, Vice President Harris raised $300 million. To me, it's like, what problem could we not solve with that money?
Right,
Like, that's $250 million.
right.
Like, with so many problems, like that's why when people start talking about we don't have money or prices, I'm like, look how quick you can get $250 million to
Right.
campaign.
Exactly.
So if you lose, that's just money just gone.
Just
Now, for
wasted.
me, I don't mind because I work in media.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of their campaign dollars are coming right to us to make digital ads to influence. So I don't mind. Spend
Yeah.
y'all, hey,
Spend
please,
y'all money,
hey, please campaign.
I'ma touch it.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, So that's that. That's that. So our kids are back to school. School.
I heard somebody
started
say.
this-
I heard somebody say, "Parent summer starts when the kids go back to school."
I agree to an extent, except that for us, because we have kids in different levels,
Yeah.
we almost have to have PTA conferences every day because we got to make sure that our third grader is on pace. We got to make sure our first grader is adjusting
Yeah.
well to his new school. I mean, at kindergarten, adjusting well to
Yeah.
his new school. We got to make sure the toddlers are adjusting well in development. So
Where
we
they
got to
are,
make sure
yeah.
that everybody is moving at the right pace. So for us, we're almost like principals because we got
Yeah.
a lot of grades. So if you're a parent and you got kids across, you're a
funny.
principal.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you are a principal.
You still got to work in the summer.
You still got to work. So yeah, man. You know
funny.
what's crazy? You know, you posted Evan back to school pictures.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny how everybody always says he looks just like you. Out of all of your kids, that one is yours. And I'm like, I think that's so crazy.
funny.
How it's funny how things work out like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there like, man, this is my stepchild, not
Yeah.
my
Like,
biological child. He
No
looks
type
like
of
me.
biology.
He's
biological.
musically inclined.
Yeah.
Probably get that from you, but it's just even his demeanor. You know, he's real cool.
Yeah,
It's like-
he's very. I don't know. I forgot the word, but it's just S word anyway. He's very like he really is like JT a lot, and it's funny because he's the sweetest, kindest person.
Right.
But like you wouldn't know that unless you talk to him.
Right.
You know, like he's not just gonna like be. He's not
He don't
loud
do too
and
much.
wild.
He don't do too
But
much.
if you ask him, if you
Right.
talk to him, he will give you.
He don't do too much.
Yeah.
He's super sweet.
Yeah.
Super. He's very like that's something.
He's very
like,
giving,
for me,
loving.
Exactly. Very giving. I mean,
And that's just how JT is.
yeah, like it's crazy. Even the stuff he like was doing, like taking food to give to his friends who didn't have snacks, or giving away stuff. Like that's the stuff I used to do as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I used to do that. I used to say, like when we was driving, we see homeless or people without homes or whatever.
Yeah.
How he's like, let's stop and help. That was me.
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy because
It's crazy.
how does that
Oh my
happen?
goodness.
Like, what are the odds of finding somebody who has a child? That child is exactly like you. The
Yeah.
child looks exactly like you. Then you have 3 more kids with that person who look nothing like you, besides the bill. Like
That is hilarious.
It's so crazy.
Right.
This is crazy.
And I think that's so funny because, like, I don't know, like, from the moment, like, from the time Evan was born, like, I have always said, I have no idea where this kid comes from because he don't even act like what I thought he would act like.
Right.
You know, like just me putting together like just biology, like genes or my thought, like he don't act like no one around me. And I just kept saying, where does this kid come from? Like even at 1 year old, I would be like, who, like this kid is so different from everybody around me. And then JT comes and I'm like, oh my God.
it's crazy.
This is who he acts like. Like, did God know? And he
And
did know.
what's crazy is, and this is, please hear us. This is not an intentional thing. It's just the timing of the situation. Because I came so early in his childhood.
Yeah.
He didn't even understand, or even to this day he didn't realize that I haven't been there since he was born.
Yeah,
Because
I find that so crazy.
I came so early, like right before he's even able to have memories. And core memories. That his first core memories and things he remembers as a kid, I was there.
Yeah.
So he just assumes
that he just was there in the living room.
like it's so crazy when we had our
It's
last
super
child,
crazy.
and we're talking about the living room, the video when he goes to ask like, "What did you do when I was born?" When I was like,
Yes,
and it's just like it's not even putting the dots together that I wasn't there, and it's like, man, that's crazy. Man.
That is crazy for real. Because I think I think they say like your memory or whatever doesn't really start until like you're maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, like core memory.
So
definitely.
your core memories, and so like really your life is really just based off of relationships.
Relationships, yeah.
And so if you constantly have this relationship with somebody, they're always there. They're a constant in your life. You just feel like they've always been there.
And the thing is, especially when you look at like our situation,
yeah,
because he was with you all the time, and then you were around me.
yeah,
A lot of things he experienced. Well, it's like even beyond the relationship. I'm just saying, like for example, when he was sick, I would be at the doctor.
yeah,
Or I would be with you, or vice versa. So it's a unique thing. I always say I didn't see my life going like that, man. A step, but like
Right.
honestly, the only difference, and I always tell people the only thing that's different when I look at all 4 of my kids is just that I tell it all the time. I just wish, which we're working on. Like I just wanted to adopt them, just so like, because I know right now I'm not even sure. Like I need to speak to somebody. Like God forbid something happen. I don't know legally.
How that'll work.
Yeah, I don't even. That's the only thing.
I
like,
know, and that'd be so terrible. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if something happens and people are separated like that, man. Yeah, right. I agree.
So that's one of my biggest goals is to make that official. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, people always say that, oh, that's heaven sent. That means that was meant to be, And not that if your kids don't look like the person, y'all not meant to be together, but it's just funny,
Very funny.
Whenever you see something like that. It's crazy. I always be, and what's funny is I used to be the person who's like, oh, I hope my whole family look alike. Like, I hope people look at my kids and know like, oh, I know your daddy, I know your mama. Like, y'all look just like them, And like, my kids came out completely different. Like
Right.
they all have their own unique thing. But I think that's probably why people like love our kids so much is because like they always like, oh, have some more. Y'all should have some more. Y'all should have some more.
Have
And it's
some
like
more.
they just want to see how they're gonna look because they look all so different. Like
Right. They just want to see the personalities, the looks.
yeah, like they all are their own person except like Major and Evan. I mean Major and Bliss, our youngest.
Yeah,
They
look
really
alike,
do
yeah.
look alike. Like
They look
everybody
alike,
are
act alike, but
always like, oh my god, like they're twins. One is just
Right.
brown, like, but they really do look alike. But yeah, it's a funny little family dynamic that we have. But I'm grateful for our family dynamic. I never thought it would be like this.
neither.
You know, being a single mama and like just thinking of your future family, like hoping that
But
you'll
like
get
that's
a,
why I said like
you know, I just never.
I never would have thought like I'm just a
Thought it would get
just a
this-
college student. Then I would go from one day literally
having no
being the college bachelor to being a father.
right.
I didn't get a 9-month window.
Yeah, it just popped up. But you got a 1-year-old. You inherited a 1-year-old.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And was it easy? Like, was it easy to transition? Not on your side. I just mean like to accept a kid into your life. Because a lot of people think that it's hard for men to.
It wasn't hard to accept a kid. There were a lot of conversations with people that, that just were, being honest. Like, hey, you sure you want to get into that? Like,
Yeah. Oh
'cause,
yeah, I believe that.
to go through, 3 years of college and go through, be about 21, about to be 22.
Yeah.
And then, telling somebody that, you didn't have a kid, you never had any serious,
Right.
super serious relationship, and, go from that to being a father. It's like, yeah, like it would. So for me, it wasn't hard,
Mm-hmm.
but there was some like conversations I had to navigate through.
Of course.
But it wasn't hard. No, I mean the hardest part was just adjusting to, including not one other person, but two other
Things
people.
that come with.
Like it's one thing to date
kids.
somebody, but
Yeah.
when you add in a child,
Yeah.
it's not impossible. It is a thing. That's
It's
why I
not.
always tell people, and even
It's not
even
at
though
all.
I did it, I say it's nothing wrong when people say they don't want to date somebody with kids.
Right.
I feel like that's very self-aware to say I have the self-awareness to know I don't want to deal with. There are certain things that come with being a step parent or being in that situation, and if somebody is aware and like I don't want to deal with that,
Yeah.
that's fair. I don't
It
feel like
is.
that's invalid. Like
I don't either. I just like, I mean, it's kind of weird to say, but like, I didn't want to have anybody. I didn't want to date anybody who had a kid. So JT always be like, can you say that? But
Right.
like you said, I'm very self-aware. Like I know my limits, and I know that would not have been a good thing for me. Just because of past things, it just would not have been a good thing for me. And yeah, so
Yep. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Finally got time to do a podcast.
know.
I'm crazy.
it's crazy, bro.
So yeah, that's it for the week.
Crazy.
Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for hanging around.
Thank y'all for being patient.
Thank you for being patient.
Shucks.
It's real
'cause
life. Follow
it's
Dom.
real
Though.
life
Dom
for real.
posts all the time. So follow Dom if y'all want. Yeah, if y'all want
Some
everyday
consistent stuff.
stuff.
I can't believe I'm consistent.
Me either. Honestly.
Okay.
Being real.
Okay. I'm consistent. And I'm saying that, like, I can't believe I'm consistent and I'm not chasing anything. Like, I'm not getting, quote unquote, money in return. Like, because I used to be like that. If it ain't making me money, I don't want to do it. I don't care. And I'm just like,
That's not
it's not a bad thing. But when you do that with everything, I feel like you do miss out on certain things,
Yep.
When that is just your money is just your sole purpose, like, mammoth. It's not okay.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll be consistent for y'all
Lovely.
as long as y'all leave a review on the podcast.
Yep. Y'all keep listening. We'll keep going.
Yeah, and keep listening, guys, and please go leave us reviews, please. Okay.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.